Then again, if you have estrogen, all hope is lost. Let me just say first that my apologies if you hear, if anything like that you hear in the background too, because I understand that I'm not in my like a real like a legit like my own studio just yet or something like that for to block any other distracting and circling sounds and anything of that. So I just want to warn y'all that if y'all hear anything in the background, of course, because I'm practically doing all this in my room. So, but yeah, I want to start this off too by saying so, cause that's the problem. I don't have an issue with it's not. Of course, you can have your own you can have your own outlook when it comes to where you think that this person or your favorite wrestler should have or should have something, and you're you think this wrestler should be at should get this or should be at the top for this particular reason, or they should be being pushed in this particular regard for this specific reason. Like I said, I don't really. It's not wrong to want that, but and that's the issue, because that's when I have the issue when it comes to this generation, this new generation today. If y'all have a sort of and that's a proper word what I hear too. I'm starting to hear when it comes to equity, or just I deserve this or I deserve that, and like I said, I think I said it before too. It all comes down to just spoiled. Y'all want not just just the wrestlers too, just yourselves, but y'all want whoever that y'all follow. Y'all, it's all about being spoiled when it comes down to it, which you can sum it up to, and that's really that. Not gonna really, you don't really think about it now, but it's really detrimental. And I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing that about it should be at the top, the same thing with Sammy's Zayn, but I don't really want to because the reason why I'm here today, and of course it's always, you can always look at the description of what I'm getting this from, if you intend to follow along. But but yeah, let's hold on, let me get back to okay. Alright, so yeah, and this goes to where what I'm coming with today in this particular wrestler right here, because this is just straight up fucking idiocy, just stay making themselves look, she's making herself look retarded and bitter for that matter too. So it's WWE developmental blasted for being toxic and full of politics. Okay, I'm not gonna read all the filler shit. Let's get to why we actually here. Alright, so and this is actually an old contract too. Old contracted trial. She's basically a tryout. I know I said wrestler, but yeah, she was basically a NXT tryout. So Anya Zovea, I don't know if that, but Anya Zovea signed a developmental contract with WWE in August 2012 and was released a year later after breaking her arm during training. Zovea filed a lawsuit against WWE in March 2017, claiming the organization did not train its inexperienced talent properly. While speaking on developmentally while speaking on the developmentally speaking podcast, Anya Zovea talked about her time in WWE. Zovea blasted the company for being toxic and having too much politics as well. Damn, that name is hard to pronounce too. I don't know. I don't know if it's French or anything like that, but I'm trying. But so honestly, anytime you hear that there's a coach wants to talk to you, either you're in trouble or what's gonna happen. Well, yeah, that could probably mean, that could pretty much mean anything, but whatever. And if you see a call coming in from Canyon Saman on your phone, you're like, oh, am I getting fired? I agree with you, podcast host Brian Asbury. And there are so many guys that didn't get the chance that you said they deserved. Just because there's such a limited, I think that now it's much more time. I think now it's more time on TV, right? There's the NXT division, stuff like that, but it's still limited. Only now, after living in the States for like 10 years, I understand the politics, and I suck at it all. But there's so much politics in WWE. You just have this type of person who understands the politics. You just have to be that good. Like, you have to be professional, perform, and deliver. Right? Well, duh. And they practically, like, this person too, like whoever too is like talking to themselves, they practically like, they're like practically exposing themselves because they know what it takes obviously to be a wrestler. And in WWE, besides being good and know what you do, you need to be good at politics. And for me, that was the hardest part. I've seen so many guys struggling with it as well. You have to be smart with who you're friends with. You have to be smart how you talk to your coaches. It's a lot. Honestly, I've seen guys just get in trouble because they were heading out with the wrong person. I never understand why it's wrong. Like, just because somebody doesn't like this person, it doesn't mean he's bad. You know, just let me make my own judgment. I don't know how it is now. I hope it changed, but back then it was a little bit of toxic, I have to say. Alright, so I like when it sorry, but it does, because like I said, when you have a bit of understanding of it, like I'm pretty sure, yeah, like obviously they're like, like I was just talking about, you know, yesterday, or when I just talked about in, you know, when I just the video where I, you know, when I was talking about what had to do with wrestling, you know, and my, or you know, and my phone out of low wrestling, where I talked about in there where the politics, whether it's with, you know, it could be Vince or Triple H or whatever, obviously, you know, understanding with that, but I said, you have to understand when it comes to the fundamentals and the basics. Like, obviously there's those that go into there, but when they talk, as you see, like when you talk about what they talk about what it takes to be a wrestler, and how, yeah, like that definitely how, yeah, like basically, you know, the fundamentals that you should have, like the basic fundamentals when it gets down to it. Because, you know, as this was 11 years ago, you know, why are you so, like, to begin with too? Because it says like she broke her arm in that time frame too, like that was pretty much the end of her, like it was before she even had a career. It was at the end of that. And like I said, like, of course, but it sounds like to me, just as there's of course, like just as there's politics everywhere, but it really just, like I said, just judging from this transcript and how this conversation is being talked about, like it just sounds like to me, all I see is bitterness. You know, all I see is like something, you know, you clearly couldn't cut it out. Is what I like. That's essentially me. Where, of course, I always thought too myself too about wanting to be a wrestler, or I could be with anything too. But say like I wanted to be a wrestler, but you know, of course, you know those lifelong injuries and putting myself in, you know, really like, you know, banging, just like really just stringing myself up and like fucking my back up, or you know, whichever body part of myself, and really, but. And that's just like essentially me like coming at, because I don't, you know, want to join WWE. I didn't like, just because I didn't take that. It's all about also, yeah, really taking a big risk and really putting yourself out there and pulling out all the stops. So that's like essentially me just like, you know, because I didn't like, you know, want to push myself and really want to make it too. And that's just me coming at WWE. Oh, you know, because I didn't really like get in head. And like I didn't really like get to where I actually wanted to be. Like you know, I'm putting the blame. Like, yeah, I'm basically pretty much putting the blame on them, and you know, I'm trying to like make it as if like, you know, like this is their fault. That and it goes back to where I just say like, you know, I'm so sick of the mentality of the society. Like what is with that? Like what is with the mentality in this today's society that. Like, of course, we're held down by I understand that, of course, like, I'm pretty sure we all do. Yeah, like, we're put down by certain like demographics and when it comes to discrimination. But like I'm so like what's that society, the society today when you talk about you know, we should, you know, I don't have to do it. I don't have to do this. I should be awarded this. Be like, I should be awarded this off of Play Instinct. You know, I shouldn't have to put in this type of work, or I shouldn't have to, you know, go, you know, break a leg to do. Like, so how do you expect to get to where you want to be, or yeah, how do you expect to accomplish if you don't want to like put in any sort of effort? So, like I said, I really get like sick and tired of that mentality when it comes to this today's society, that people really want to just be handed anything. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, and that's all this conversation does. It sounds like, especially like this is years ago too. It's like why are you still hugging? It seems like you just fallen in a lawsuit just because, like, clearly all your own stuff that you couldn't. You pretty much couldn't cut it at all. Like, you couldn't, like, you're not cut out to be a wrestler. And, like, you're just, whether it's just that, or, you know, like I said, like, even now, like, you're just, like I said, you're just being biased. Because, or just be a purely, like, envy. Like, you're being, like, you clearly see it. Like, you're envious of the fact that, like, you didn't get, like, you yourself, it's not where you actually want to be, and that's just purely back on you. So it's like, what are we really here for? Why are you really bringing up WWE when it's like the fact that like what is this shit? Like what like what's the because you could clearly see, like, you could clearly see what you're getting at. Like, we can clearly see what you're getting at. Like, get out of here, man, with the shit. Like seriously, like, come on, get out of here with that shit. Like, years later, and you're still talking about the same bullshit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's clearly on you. And like, so it's like, if it's just politics, then where's the politics then? Where's, like, this oh, it's just another thing. Where it goes to, like, you know, Ryback, aka Cryback. This is essentially the same thing with Ryback. It's like, so, you know, like it's just 24/7. It's just WWE. WWE is out to get me. They're after me. You know, you know, I'm not. You know, they're preventing me to be where I want to be. And actually, this time, like, what are you talking about? Sir, I think it's it's called a personal skill. Like, oh man, like I said, it just goes back to where just like when it comes to today, this mindset of where, like, you clearly want to be, like, you don't want to work it to yourself, but you want people to hand things to you, right? Like Pierce said, just like instant on the instant on just a clear plate platter instead of getting it yourself. So it's like, what is actually the issue here? If, like, because you can clearly see it, like, what's the like, because it seems to be like I said, it just seems like to like personal of what you with, whether it's with you have with WWE or whether it's with yourself. Because that's all I'm sensing, all I'm looking at. Where's the politics if you just, like, because clearly it just, like, you're being envious. Like, because you're not actually at where you want to be at, then you're essentially taking it out on WWE. It's pretty much what I'm seeing.